Hello YouTube, it is Damien, it is Arsenal, it is DAMMO Does England. It is Season 1, Episode 2, and it's our first ever league game of the series. And we have West Ham coming up at home at the Emirates Stadium. We've gone through a few transfers, a bit of transfer drama did happen. We're currently live on stream, link in the description below. Come follow us on Twitch as always, just watch all the madness happen live. Rejected a lot of those offers. In terms of the transfer history though, are you ready? A lot happened. Deadline day was the 9th, and as you can see, 2 signings happened on the 9th. First thing on the outs, no one really of note, just a lot of loans. Carl Jenkinson, maybe. Some people would have thought maybe been a squad player. Not really that great anymore. Anyway, obviously the deals we didn't do was Socrates, Leno, and Lichtsteiner. That was already done. The first thing I kind of went in is I kind of highlighted that the club needs a centre-back and the club needs a centre-mid. A bit of a destroyer, I felt like. Xhaka doesn't really do the job. A lot of the midfielders at Arsenal are like deeper lying playmakers that just sit at the hole and don't really go forward and spray the ball around, don't really win a hard ball. Thomas Partey is completely not that, and obviously for 15 mil all up front is quite the player to bring in. Obviously has that, you know, that leading Premier League potential, but I even reckon he's already there. 185 with, you know, decent jumping reach, great headering. You know, he's obviously got a great tackle in him, decent pass. At 13, does things simple, kind of keeps it simple while he does it. But he also has got great teamwork and great work rate, and obviously with that, combined with the pace and decision making, him getting late into the box, which is one of his player traits, really breaks the mould of a typical Arsenal centre midfielder that you feel in like real life, or you're on Football Manager, which are all just deeper line playmakers that kind of sit and don't do too much. I'm going to play a 4-2-3-1, which we'll talk about in a second, that I've played Sunderland quite a number of times. It tweaked it a little bit, not too much, but it really allows for us to keep heavy possession with Ozu in the park, in the hole, and allows our midfielders to really bomb into the box from deep if done so at the right time and not at the same time. Anyway, Thomas Partey goes there. I am playing Ramsey next to him, but there might be a case of put a deeper line playmaker alongside Partey to allow Partey to bomb on just that little bit more. But that is what we're going with. Anyway, the next signing I'm going to talk about is Mangala. I'm going to leave Depay to last because I think he's the most important. Mangala obviously wasn't released, but was put on the transfer list because he barely played back in the last season, obviously, because he obviously got injured and torn his knee ligaments. Obviously, he's come back from a lengthy injury. Obviously, Man City deemed him to not be of quality for their squad, and he got transfer listed for about 20 mil, and I was like, I'm not going to really pick him up. Anyhow, he got down to 6.5 mil, and I kind of said, look, he's my secondary option if my option doesn't come in. That option was Wallace. Now, Wallace is a very good centre-back that I've had at HK and FM18 and grew into. Was a great player when I bought him at 30. Played for Brazil a number of times. Had great headering, great marking, great tackling, positioning. You know, he's got good determination, very good physically as well. Big boy, can pass the ball slightly as well. Could always train that, you know, vision maybe and that ball playing ability a little bit because I would prefer a ball playing defender. Anyway, Wallace kind of came in and I was like, oh, okay. Kind of transfer accepted for 15 mil all up front. Got the deadline day and I was like, Wallace hasn't come in yet, but surely you will, right? You know, he's obviously a great player. So I went and spent money on Depay. As it so happened, Wallace got rejected a work permit and on appeal, rejected as well. Apparently, the fee of 15 mil wasn't high enough, not on enough wage, even though he was paying 100k wages, to get a work permit. He comes from a top league. You know, if I go to maybe, the rules later on, I'm not going to, but it's very similar to a situation that happened at Sunderland in our second to last season with a goalkeeper coming from Lazio as well. Should got about 6-7 points to get rid of the 4 work permit system. Didn't happen. In the end, that left us with Mangala. 6 mil. I actually think the guy is really good for 6 mil. Obviously physically he's outstanding, even from an injury he's outstanding. Got great headering, great marking, great tackling, good determination, positioning, and is on a rotation contract. It was important to find a centre-back that would be happy to come into Arsenal with a rotation contract because obviously when Koscielny comes back from his torn Achilles injury that he obviously had since the start of the season in real life, obviously has it in Football Manager, he won't be back till January. I don't even have him registered in the squad for the Premier League because of his injury. I feel like that getting Mangala in for 6 mil can definitely do a job. Hopefully he will be okay. He's going to be better than Mustafi. Mustafi's a train wreck in real life. He's a train wreck on FM. There was a moment where Mustafi turned the ball over with a poor header, where he had a free header. He then watched the striker walk past him. He then moonwalked backwards before walking to try and get back and let the guy one-on-one and check, pulled off a great save. in preseason. So kind of like, nope, not playing. But that leaves Memphis Depay. Now, Depay was kind of a last-minute option. I have the money. If I want to win the league this season, this is probably the guy you have to come in and bring in. You can see why. As an inside forward attacker, that's exactly what he's going to be playing. Dribbling, finishing, first touch, pace, flair, passing, technique, all world-class. The flair, the off the ball, will probably grow as well. He's only 24. I feel like this guy could be world-class, and I think this is a great signing for Arsenal. And you know, Iwobi was good. Iwobi had a good preseason. Daniel Welbeck, I gave him a new contract, expecting to use him. And then it kind of said that Depay was unsettled. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in there. We obviously signed him for 29 mil with some clause, I think, against the 40. But 42. There we are. But I feel like that's a really good deal. In terms of the team and how the team looks in the system, it is a 4-2-3-1, like I said. Unfortunately, though, Mangala is obviously still recovering. He's about a week or so away from being fully fit. And Socrates got injured. I don't want to play Mr. Mustafi in this game. So I'm actually going to play Rob Holding over Mustafi, and Socrates can go in there and then get Socrates off. Socrates actually got 82 match fitness and 80% 80% conditioning, 82 sharpness, sorry. He should be able to make at least 50-55 minutes and then bring Mangala on. Mangala hasn't had too much football, but I'm almost willing to kind of let that go. I could play Mustafi. I just feel like it's a train wreck waiting to happen. In terms of the team, that's the team looking at. I feel really sorry for Lacazette. He had a really good preseason, but Aubameyang's pretty good. Depay obviously plays out there. Ozil's been good when he came in. Mkhitaryan was great. In terms of preseason results as well, we obviously lost to CSK. Until we played Benfica, everybody was on holiday, basically. When we played Benfica, most of the team came back. And then by the Miranda's game, everybody but Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck came back after the 6th. He came back on the 7th. And then I was like, I'm going to transfer this year for that. And no one bought him. And now he's still at the club. If injuries happen, Danny Welbeck will make the bench. I feel like Danny Welbeck still has a bit of a role to play here. But anyway, he was transfer listed. We didn't sell him. Games already been played in the Premier League, but we're about to play ours. Obviously, in terms of season preview, we're meant to finish 6th. Our team would be apparently Iwobi, Depay, and Lacazette, according to the game of Aubameyang with Ozil and Mkhitaryan. I won't be playing that. It's way too not enough balance in the middle of the park. One of Mustafi, Socrates, and Lichtsteiner. Kelcioni, when he's fit, would probably play there too. Anyway, we are going to get into this game here against West Ham. Hopefully, we can start off with a win. It's a bit of a risk playing Socrates. Probably our preferred partnership will be when Kelcioni comes back. Obviously, he's elite. Will be Kelcioni and Socrates together. But we'll see how we go. Anyway, Czech obviously in goals with Bellerin, Socrates, Rob Holding, who can play ball-playing defender, which is where I would dearly like my centre-backs to play. With Kolasinac, who had a really good preseason as well. Thomas Partey and Aaron Ramsey, who I signed on a new contract, something Arsenal definitely should have done. And off he goes. Hey, CJ, good to see you in chat. Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Depay, and Aubameyang. Let's get into it, though. A couple of lads aren't fully fit. Look, as long as Socrates doesn't re-injure himself here, he'll be fit for the up-and-coming games. But they're playing a 4-1-4-1 away from home here at the Emirates. I'm going to tell the boys that we should be winning this one. I have a lot of faith in these lads. A lot of the boys are still yet to really come to grips with me as a manager, obviously being young, obviously with not much experience. I am going to go and just tell them to press everybody. And I am going to go and tell them always on a weaker foot on Lucas. Is it going to be one team every club? No, CJ. CJ's just asking about the challenge in chat and the Twitch. We are going to go and play until we win the Premier League at Arsenal. If it's one season, great. If it's not, obviously then next season's Bournemouth, and we'll play as many seasons with Bournemouth to win the Premier League. And then like Cardiff could be in Sky Bet League 1 by the time we get to them because of how their clubs kind of run. And they did get the Sky Bet League 1 in my Sunderland save. We would have to then take Cardiff from Sky Bet League 1 to the Premier League and then win the Premier League to then go on to the next team, which I think is after Cardiff. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you. Alphabetical order Premier League doesn't really do my head in. But you see what I'm getting at? You know, we have to go. At a minimum, it's going to be a 20-year save because we would have one game each club. But obviously, teams are going to get promoted and relegated as the save goes on as well. So I'm thinking in about 30 to 35 years in-game to probably do it at a minimum. So it's going to be a very long-term save, CJ. Anyway, it's a special day. I can't wait to get started in this wonderful draw. I'm delighted for Bellerin. Obviously, I'll focus on what we can do. Felipe Anderson's probably Arsenal's best player, so it's pretty good. And Arnautovic is probably up there as well, but be interesting to see what we can do. Thank you, CJ, for the retweet as well on Twitter. And off we go. Looking for us to go out there and keep the ball and really try and create here against Arsenal. It's a system that I reckon we can play well. I'm just more interested to see how Socrates goes. Anyway, Ozil, corner in there. Aubameyang with a free header. Poor marking there by the zone of West Ham. Zone really set up. The middle zone fell apart. No one tracked the run who weren't in the zone. And it's 1-0 and it's Aubameyang. Didn't expect the score of a corner from our first goal. Obviously, everybody knows that corners fly in big time. Maybe Fabianski should have maybe bailed out West Ham then, but at least we're 1-0 up. First game in. Socrates there on a yellow card already, and with his poor fitness, should at least make it to half-time, and then Mangala for the second half, and then we should be okay. Anyway, Socrates, though, goes into Mkhitaryan. He had a great pre-season. Mkhitaryan there in the Thomas Partey, one of the new boys. Ramsey, great ball into Bellerin, numbers in the box. Backstick, Memphis Depay, on debut, in front of the Emirates faithful. And it is 2-0. There we go. Bellerin made the goal. Great assist. Obviously, Bellerin, at the start of the season, didn't do his ACL. In real life, he did. But anyway, Thomas Partey there with the ball. Into Ramsey. Ramsey sprays out a great ball to Bellerin. First time cross. Depay's not picked up. And Memphis won't miss from there. And the key signing has already got himself on the score sheet. And there we are. We didn't need Memphis, but we have chosen Memphis. Anyway, Kolasinac with the ball. Freddie alone, press challenge in the chat. We'll type challenge in the chat and it will be explained. Kolasinac, ball over the top to Memphis Depay, who runs inside. Memphis now, ball to Aubameyang. Block, falls back to Memphis again. He's got a double on his debut. And there we go. It's 3-0 now for Arsenal, 35 minutes played. Great way to start here. And there we go. Ball over the top. Depay with a great run inside. Beating men at will. Great ball to Aubameyang. Great block it was by the covering left back, which is probably Creswell. It is Creswell. And then Depay slots it back in. Aubameyang's been credited with the assist. And there we are. We move up the fourth spot, which is strange. I don't know how we're not like higher in terms of goal difference. Anyway, Bellerin swarms, wins that ball. Aubameyang can't hold it up. Not really known for his hold-up play. Could do it. He's got a big enough body. Anyway, Javi Fugo there in the ball, Breno in the Noble. Great talents by Partey. What we want to see, but it falls there. Anyway, Bellerin heads away. Ramsey, Bellerin, very well zipped around there. Socrates should be able to go out the other side. Doesn't. Go back to Bellerin. He can face forward. Runs at his man. Thomas Partey now. Ball back into Bellerin. Keeping it well here is Arsenal. Bellerin in the Ramsey, who faces forward. Ramsey looking to let Mkhitaryan run. He does go. Mkhitaryan gets to the ball and cuts it. Aubameyang's there. And Aubameyang has two. Mkhitaryan with another assist. And it's 4-0 for Arsenal inside 40. Starting the season with a bang here is Arsenal. Who knows? Maybe we could win the Premier League in our first season at Arsenal and move off the Bournemouth pretty quickly. Mkhitaryan gets there. Cuts it back. Aubameyang with the header. And it's a pretty damn good goal. 14 shots, 8 on target. And we're on top. Anyway, Kolasinac, Ozil now. Ball into Kolasinac again, into Thomas Partey. Partey from distance. Oh my days. Partey has having a party. And it's 5-0 right on half-time. What a goal to introduce yourself to the Emirates faithful. And it's 5-0 and the Gooners are loving it. Ozil ball into Kolasinac. What a hit from Thomas Partey, the new signing. One touch. Pick that out. And there we go. It's 5-0. What do you think of the challenge, Freddie, alone, by the way, in chat when he's talking about how he beat Arsenal in the Europa League just before? And there we go. A 5-0 drubbing at the moment. I'm going to leave Socrates out there for at least another 5 minutes or so. And then we're going to take him off. And then we'll go like that. And off we go. So we'll get him into the 50th odd. There we are. Zabaleta now on the ball. Maybe a chance here for West Ham. Maybe this is the goal-scoring end and maybe 5 goals isn't enough. Javi in the Wilshere, former player, obviously. Into Javi. Javi being pressed now, puts the ball in. Bellerin, they can't deal with the press. And Mkhitaryan now picks it up and runs with it. Mkhitaryan looking for Aubameyang over the top. One touch, should get a hat-trick and does. It's 6-0 now. Aubameyang finds the net. It's a hat-trick. And we are on fire. With that in mind, I'm actually going to take off Memphis, by the way. And we are going to bring Mangala in there. Going to confirm that, and off we go. I know a few people would have liked to watch that goal again, but obviously us making the change to skip that. Anyway, what a ball from Mkhitaryan, by the way. Who might have actually 3 assists now. That's a great ball into the space. And that's why I really do love playing Aubameyang over Lacazette for that exact reason. Socrates having a very good game. Hopefully Mangala can just walk out there and just have a very good one as well. Obviously coming back from his injury. Shouldn't do nothing in. But a bigger challenge to me is to have Wolves with 11 Portuguese playing in the first team. You never know. By the time we get to Wolves, is the very last thing we do. We could get everybody from that's Portuguese. Anyway, 72 minutes played. On top here, time's ticking away. I'm going to make this a bit of a party here. We're going to rest Mkhitaryan for Smith Rowe, the youngster, who I think could have a pretty big year here at the club and a very good future in Football Manager, and a player we might look to sign in the future as well. We'll get him out there as well and get him off there as well for Mkhitaryan before he picks up another booking. And there we are. Time's ticking away here. We could bring another player on somewhere. What we might do is we might get Lacazette on and just give the crowd a moment to savour Aubameyang coming off the field. Lacazette makes his way on. It's 6-0. Are we going to concede right in the 90th? Holding heads array. Aubameyang flicks it out there to Wilshere, who has a chance to whip it in. Ball in. Mangala does enough. Depay on the break. He wants his hat-trick. He might just go himself here, trying to do it. Depay is going himself. In the end, he was not selfish enough and tried to free it in Smith Rowe. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. We've won 6-0 in our first game in the new save at the Emirates with Arsenal. 6-0 win there. Absolute love and life. A very pleased with the result and the way you guys have played. And there we go. What a way to get underway. Depay makes a return to English football. Obviously, he played in England many, many years ago for Man United. Not many, but people will remember his unsuccessful spell. I'm going to attend the press conference, of course, as well. I'm happy to see him playing. It was a superb win. Absolutely, the players know. I don't think you can over-mention him. I was very happy. Every manager's keen to see the new signs pay off immediately. It was a great match. It was a fantastic strike. Tremendous reflection. Can't wait to see how else he's going to be. And there we go. What that does mean, chat, and the main reason why YouTube. The main reason why I did show you about doing press conferences is because media handling takes effect on if you're going to get future jobs. Obviously, we're going to have to get a lot of 19 jobs in this save. So we will be doing a lot more press conferences, but you won't be seeing them on the YouTube. That's the end of episode 2 of season 1 with Arsenal and DAMMO Does England finished. If you liked the episode, give it a like. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. There'll be more of this content coming out. And as always, links in the description below. Come follow us on Twitter to keep up to date. And of course on Twitch to come watch this live, as we are currently live on YouTube. From Damien from Arsenal, from DAMMO Does England. I'll see you next time for episode 3 of the very first season with Arsenal.